Xbox just stepped off of their biggest E3 in years and is starting to roll out their best era in gaming since the Xbox 360. One of the most important pillars of the success for Xbox hinges on providing a suite of great games and an offering of great games continually. One of the first steps to bring more content and a consistent stream of new games to the platform is to form Xbox Game Pass. Game Pass is one of the driving factors for some of the most important updates for Xbox, and it's coming to all fans whether they subscribe to the service or not, and this surprise is coming sooner than you think. This is Colteastwood. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about insider information and new studio acquisitions coming to Xbox with announcements this year. If you end up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new content. And let's get into Xbox's future and new studios. Xbox has shocked and turned the game industry on its ear with the surprise hit, Game Pass. The service was slow to win over critics, but in an era where subscription services are king and how we consume the majority of our music, TV, and movies, the natural occurrence of a monthly offering of great games has become an overwhelming hit with most everyone in the gaming community. There are two major benefits to Xbox offering their exclusives at a low entry fee when the competition has raised prices for next generation. One is the ability to make games bigger and take more risks breaking out of a mold of cookie cutter or paint-by-number games-as-a-service titles. Recently, Xbox and Avalanche Studios, the team behind Rage 2, Mad Max, and the Just Cause series, partnered together to build an out-of-the-box, online co-op heist game set in the 70s called Contraband. Avalanche CEO Pim Holf said, "Game Pass has been really great for us. Xbox Game Pass was fantastic because we were able to reach so many more players. It's a good way for people to try the game. It's a beautiful way of getting people in, getting engaged, and showing that it's a stellar game. Then people are really tempted to buy more, so the business model really works to our advantage. It's made Xbox a way more important platform than we ever initially thought." Avalanche partnering with Xbox has given them the resources to get, as he says, closer to the hardware built on an enhanced Apex engine. Contraband will improve on the open, gorgeous landscapes. Close quote. This allows Avalanche to create a game tailor-made to shine on high-end PCs and the Xbox Series consoles they emulate in many ways. We haven't seen Contraband outside of concept, but knowing what Avalanche can do with games like Mad Max and Just Cause in an open world with driving and on-foot gunplay, expect this next-generation only title to impress and offer a new dedicated heist experience we haven't seen since GTA 5 and Payday. The question is of an Avalanche studio acquisition, and it was reported on rumor in early June that Xbox was in the talks to either acquire Avalanche as a publisher or some of their studios. Recently, Xbox era lead Special Nick, a trusted insider with a proven track record, spoke on the XNC Xbox News podcast and said,
They've said they're not done.
Come on, why were you raising your hand?
Yeah. So I sent a DM to one of my people before the show. I said, "Oh, look, I'm going to be on Colt's show." I'm like, can I say anything on Colt's show? Can I tease anything?
Do it!
Look, I don't have details. I said, look, because I've been exchanging some information. I've been showing screenshots of like that person from our forum who's been posting stuff, and I may know a few things, but I said, look, what can I say anything on Colt's show? And this is the reply I got is, it's acquisition season.
Oh, okay.
That's the reply I got.
Okay.
It's acquisition season.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. So, yeah. I suspect you will hear some things soon.
Yeah.
I mean, like, October is acquisition season like we saw last year?
No. Well, more like now. Like we're at the end/start of the financial year. This is when a lot of that stuff gets done. Yeah. I mean, look at Sony. Sony just did 3 all at the end of financial year. So yeah, I suspect we will be hearing some stuff soon.
Yeah, it looks like my predictions looking pretty strong right now.
One of the wild rumors that has been materializing into a more likely scenario is the Warner Brothers acquisition that houses several big studios, creating big franchises, and one of them is the legendary Mortal Kombat. WB studio NetherRealm has been shopped around, and it sounds like Xbox is very much interested in bringing Ed Boon and his talented studio into the Xbox family. Right now, Xbox has neglected the fighting game killer instinct, and with crossovers in the fighting genre seeing massive success, Nick of Xbox Era says that NetherRealm is not off the table or out of the realm of possibility for Xbox to acquire. Xbox is interested more in buying publishers and letting those studios self-manage and create the games they have always built with access to resources and tech from the Xbox hardware and software teams. Xbox is rounding the corner of the remainder of 2021 with big new exclusives, timed third-party exclusive deals, and big games coming to Xbox Game Pass at launch, adding a value that cannot be matched by the competition. This means that there will be more games on Xbox than ever before, but the prospect of acquiring even more talent to create games is a reoccurring cycle that fans should expect as Xbox announces more studios creating more games, which will lead to more content, which will in turn drive more revenue to build more games. This is the new Xbox initiative, and it's better than ever. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. This has been a great time watching Xbox grow from a platform that gave us hardly any games for a long time into a platform that will have so many games, I don't know how we're going to keep up. There are big acquisitions, publisher deals, third-party deals, things built for Game Pass that are also on console and PC. It's important to know that a lot of this stuff is not exclusive just to Game Pass. This is for all players in the Xbox ecosystem. If you ended up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel, hit the bell to be notified of new content, and hit the join button to join the channel membership or the Patreon. Links are in the description. That'll give you early access to videos and give you access to monthly giveaways. And also there is merch in there. I create graphic design shirts that showcase things for the channel or Be Nice or things for the XNC podcast, which I showed here in the video. That show runs Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern time and 1 a.m. if you're in the UK, but we're also on Spotify and other podcast platforms. But I want to know what you think of these studios and who you think Xbox will pick up. Do you think they'll really pick up NetherRealm, or are they interested in more than just one studio from Warner Brothers? Also, stay tuned here to the end. I've got a little message that I shared on Twitter the other day that was received pretty well, but I think everybody wants to see it. So here it is. I want to talk about why the console war is completely over. One reason is right now, every single Xbox Series S and X that comes out of manufacturing is sold immediately when it hits retail. Also, Xbox is sending tons and tons of chips over to the xCloud infrastructure to 22 countries. Also, Xbox allows you to play on Steam, PC, browsers, your phones, tablets, you name it. Let's talk about no games on the Xbox. Yes, the very first 6 to 7 months for the Xbox has had little to no exclusives other than some third-party or smaller timed exclusive deals. And this needed to change. We've been asking for better, but the next rest of this year will show that Xbox has more games than the competition, and that's okay. Now let's talk about inside sources and lies. Like everyone's always up in arms about people on social media or YouTube for lying. Now this is attaching an emotional response to someone giving you information that you either do not like, or you do not agree with, or you don't believe will happen. But what I'm seeing is a general unhappiness of gamers. Some people have the money and they can't secure a console right now. Other people can't afford to get a new console because of how difficult life has been over the past year or so. And another reason, some people have financial hardships where they can choose just one console. So they buy one and they attach themselves emotionally to that. And then they use that. And there's very few people that do this. I'm talking about 0.3%, but they attack others and they call them names and they harass them over their preference, their opinion, and their choice of where they play video games. If you're out there quote tweeting, sharing screenshots, calling people out by name, calling them names, DMing them, harassing them, making videos about them, or calling them out to debate over video game opinions and preference and information, I want you to do me a really big favor. Take your phone and show it to a loved one. Show them the way that you treat other people when it comes to gaming, or how you act around other people for having a different preference or enjoying a platform that you don't care about. In other words, please be nice.